online network called Internet.
Well, it's very hip to be on the internet right now.
Welcome, my degenerates. The rest of your life starts right now on Market Mania, the no bullshit approach to all financial markets, including cryptocurrencies, NFTs, darknets, and of course, the largest casino in the world, the U.S. stock market. Today we're going to be talking about the SEC taking a look at NFTs. Powell spoke today talking about a 25 basis point hike incoming. The nation state of Ukraine just did a crypto rug pull on their airdrop. We'll talk a little bit about that. But first, Putin Speaks. He came out just earlier today with some thoughts about their recent attack in Russia. And Matt, you ran this by us. Let's take a look at it here.
Yeah, Tony, he announced he's going to speak early this morning, set the market off towards going lower. So the futures sold off right after the open when he announced this. And I think we would probably drop like 1.5% from top to bottom at least. And then he spoke around, I guess, 11:30 Eastern time, spoke for like 15 minutes. People were worried that he was going to sort of, threaten the USA, take things further, nuclear threats, that kind of stuff. Basically, what he talked about, he started by congratulating his troops, saying mission well done, everything's going as planned. Then he said that his people, Russian people and Ukrainian people are one and the same. Then he went on to say basically the Ukrainian government is neo-Nazis, and that's why they're going in there to save the Ukrainian people, which are also the same as Russian people. And he's saving them from the neo-Nazi government, and that's why they're there. Basically saying they're very justified in what they're doing, and he's continuing the propaganda. So as he spoke, the market kind of it was mostly unchanged, bounced a little bit, but it's bounced a little after, I guess, because he didn't really threaten anything further. I know, Brett, you were sleeping during this, but you wake up to hear these things from Putin. Are you surprised?
I'll say this. It's like no matter which party you were in or country, the enemy's always a Nazi or racist or whatever.
So true.
Like that's just a universal playbook. I honestly, before this conflict and even during it, haven't paid a ton of attention to the makeup of the Ukraine government. I find it hard to believe that they're neo-Nazis. Like, I feel there might be a little more evidence.
We know Zelensky, the president, he's Jewish, and the mayor of capital city Kiev is Jewish.
Yeah, so he's a Jewish actor, right? Like the odds that guy's a Nazi are pretty low.
Well, he's Jewish, so that kind of negates it. There's not many Jewish Nazis in the world.
No, but yeah, it's like it's not
makes
zero,
it hard,
but it's pretty close.
Yeah, but also we know enough people that are supporting Ukraine that have either lived there or are from there.
Yeah,
we know them personally. They would never support a Nazi regime. So, they would speak out against it. So we just can't, from our personal experience, anecdotally, we just can't believe that.
Well,
yeah,
guys,
I'm not buying it either.
Don't speak too soon, because here we have Ukraine saying they're going to cancel their airdrop. Now that seems like something that a Nazi would do to me. So what's going on here,
Jesus,
Brett? They're just canceling the airdrops on us?
So it was really really smart by them. They went to raise money, right? Like, by the way, I think it's quite weird that people are just sending money straight to a government, but people were doing it. And then they teased an airdrop. They're like, airdrop unconfirmed. And people are like, wait, what? And then they like announced the airdrop. And so a bunch of people sent, I sent them money from 6 different addresses or whatever. Just because if there's going to be an airdrop, hey, it might be worth something, right? And like if the money's going to a good cause, allegedly, or whatever. So, I wake up and they're like, never mind. I mean, it makes sense. It's like you don't need to add this complexity, and then nobody's really going to be mad because it's kind of going to charity anyway. So, it's what are you going to do? Just keep it moving. That's how I feel.
What's interesting, it says instead of the airdrop, they're going to announce NFTs to support Ukrainian armed forces soon. So there's some Ukraine NFTs coming. Are these things are like warfighter player cards going to drop on OpenSea and looks rare? Is this the future we're looking at? Is this how we fund war in the future? This is getting crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, right? All the defund the police, and like now everyone, they've got the Ukraine flag up, right? Like they want to get rid of guns in the U.S., but they're applauding the Ukrainians with rifles in the streets. There's probably going to be the people buying these NFTs too, and then talking about peace. Yeah, I'll say this too, though. OpenSea just delisted. They kicked out Iranian artists and took collections out, and MetaMask kicked out or Infura also Venezuelans. So even though the Web3 is this decentralized world, like there's still decentralized points where if you're in one of these, and I feel like horrible, right, for Iranians. You know, it's like stop punishing people because of their government. People are doing it with Russians too. Like it's okay to seize their buddy because you're Russian. Stop going after innocent people because you're mad about their government. Deal with
cancel culture has morphed into this.
It's sick, man. So
well, this is going to have a very chilling effect on the Ethereum community to watch their main on-ramp, MetaMask, start canceling people from geolocation or just from having lived somewhere. I mean, the best way to undo these regimes is to give the people power through these immutable, unstoppable cryptocurrencies. And I'm sorry, but it's interesting though, come to find out MetaMask is owned by JP Morgan. So I didn't know that.
I thought you were going to say owned by neo-Nazis.
Did they just have a piece? Because it's from Consensus. Did JP Morgan buy all of Consensus, or did they just invest? I'm not sure about that.
I don't have that up in front of me, but I forget where I was reading it earlier, but they own a piece of it or own a large part of it or own all the code or whatever. Of course they got their grubby claws in it. Of course.
No, so they raised $65 million from JP Morgan. So Consensus is this big Ethereum conglomerate that has like 100 different products. MetaMask is obviously one of the flagship ones, and then JP Morgan's an investor in Consensus, but it's still I believe it's still like a standalone company.
Well, we need a way out from under these people, and speaking of getting out from under these people, Powell spoke today talking about backing a quarter-point rate hike in March. Now, Brett, you and I have been pretty skeptical about rate hikes. I especially was wondering if they were even going to do it in the face of war. But they're looking at this inflation. I mean, the CPI prints are between 6 and 7%. We all know because of shadow stats and how they're supposed to do it, it's about 15%, or at least I believe so. So, I mean, a quarter point rate hike, what is this going to do? This is still fast, easy money, Matt. I see the market just ripping. Yep. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, Powell came out yesterday, spilled the beans. He said, we're looking at a 0.25%. So that takes out the idea of no rate hike. It also takes out the idea of a 50 basis point rate hike in March. So a couple weeks going to raise 25 basis points, and they're going to be waiting to see more data. Then the next month they'll probably raise 25 again. It'll probably raise like 3 or 4 months in a row, and then see where we're at. But I mean, their job is to make sure the economy's rolling, make sure that there's no hiccups in the market, and they're doing an excellent job in the last few years. You got to admit,
no, they're not.
In the face of a pandemic and a crisis, they have done an amazing job with the economy.
No
okay,
way. It's not even to them. It was a gift to them to print money.
It's not I'm not making a political opinion. I'm just saying the market hasn't crashed. In the face of a pandemic, the economy was shut down. So overall, I'm saying what they've done, whether you agree with them or not, or inflation, blah blah blah. They've staved off a market correction or a market crash, which easily could have happened if they did the wrong things in this period. So that in alone is impressive. Now we will have to see what you're talking about going forward. If inflation gets out of control, that's another story. But as per today, I guess we're 2 years into the pandemic and economy shutting down. They did a pretty good job.
You keep saying they're data dependent. I think they're data dependent in the same way a guy surrounded by alligators is data dependent. It's like they're painted into a corner. And I just think the worst part of me thinks that coronavirus was a little too convenient way for them, because they were always going to have to print money. They were always going to have to. Anyway, that's for future historians to figure out. Let's move on to modern history here. Let me pull up the right one here. Okay.
What's the SEC coming after NFTs? Is that what it is?
That's right. SEC.
Wow. I thought I'd put a longer title in, but either way.
So, yes, SEC taking a good look at NFTs. I'm surprised. I mean, they've been taking a good look at everything after Ethereum. In fact, Gary Gensler, the head of the SEC, or not head, but one of the chairmen of the SECs, was saying in a video conference once that he believes every single crypto is a security. They just didn't catch Ethereum and Bitcoin in time, so those cats are out of the bag. But now, I mean, they're taking a look at these NFTs, and more specifically, they are concerned about how fractional NFTs are being used. So, Brett, what do you think of this? Is this all fury and noise with no teeth? Or are they gonna do something about it?
Fractional NFTs, like there are a ton of like problems and scams in the NFT space. Fractional NFTs are not on the list of problems in the space. There's nothing wrong with, like, say Matt has a CryptoPunk, right? Those are expensive. They're like, say, $250,000 minimum. Okay, well, you could fractionalize that, and now I can like own a piece of a CryptoPunk for like $500 or something. That's like a pretty cool use case. I don't think that really needs government intervention on it at all. But then you have all these other just outright scams and promises and rugs, people just straight up stealing money. I think that would be a better use of resources, is going after the legitimate bad actors instead of like one sort of interesting use of the technology that I think deserves a free market for.
Well, it's interesting because Gary Gensler really understands this stuff, and I'm sure whatever policy they try and come up with will be hurtful and stupid and short-sighted, but Gary Gensler himself is none of those things. He's taught classes on DeFi at Harvard or Yale or whatever, some Ivy League school. He's not an idiot. He knows this stuff, but this article calls him a crypto skeptic. I think he understands this, and I think there's some part in the back of his mind that knows they could never really truly regulate these. They're just like trying to carve out some noise, I don't know.
They'll go after some. I mean, it's like 1 in 100. It's whack-a-mole, right? Especially with a lot of anonymous offshore type teams running these scams.
Exactly. What could you do?
They'll get some of them. I mean, they get the BitConnect guy. Like there's a lot of people even years down the road.
Yeah.
That the SEC, man, they have a long memory.
All right. Well, they got their work cut out for them. The rest of us have to feel a little darker today, a little more dreary as we watch Zuckerbergs Sister. Oh my God.
My friend made me watch this last night, and I woke up with it in my head.
Well, that's no friend of yours, and I'm no friend of you all making you watch this. We're just commiserating. Oh my God.
What the hell is this?
It's Mark Zuckerberg's sister.
What the fuck?
All right.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, Randy Zuckerberg, Mark Zuckerberg's sister, giving us her crypto music stylings, become an instant meme. She knows it too. Here's her response. A special thanks to all the crypto bros, that's us, hating on my music video by retweeting and sharing it more broadly. Couldn't have asked for a better guerrilla marketing department. All right, apes. Well, that's us. So you're welcome, Randy. Congratulations.
Yeah. I respect her putting herself out there, right? Most of the people hating, they're anonymous. They've never even put themselves out there like that. So you got to respect it.
That's true. That's true. At least it's not an OnlyFans. All right. Let's get to the not investment advice. Definitely not investment advice. Do your own research. Market Mania. Pick of the day.
Drop it like it's hot. Everybody stack. I'm stacking to the top.
Okay, Market Mania Pick of the Day brought to you by our wonderful sponsors, Mindac Gold, Blitz Pick, Crypto IQ, and of course you can get the rarest Pepes from the drippiest dealer over at OpenSea.io, Rare Pepe Dealer. That's our boy Mycon selling humble frog JPEGs. If you could support us, support our sponsors, we would appreciate it. Okay, we've got some good ones today. Matt, I'm going to pull yours up. Why don't you take us through it?
Tesla. I think everyone knows this car company, electric vehicle company.
Biden doesn't.
No, yeah, except for Biden. Biden doesn't know it, but he will. $852 a share. They're just killing it. Everyone's trying to compete. No one's been able to. There's a lot of designs easy, as Elon says, but production is hard. Ford is finding that out. GM's finding that out. The only ones I see that maybe Volvo, Polestar are kind of competing. Rivian's having trouble. Production's a big problem for everyone else, and Elon hasn't figured it out. So Tesla 852.
Don't they have semiconductor problems just like everyone else? I mean, how are they getting around that? They don't have that in their vertical.
Not only do they not have problems, Elon in 2021 had his software engineers re-engineer the software so they used different chips, that chips were more available. He's a genius. He's like no one else.
That is incredible. All right, Brett, what have you got for us?
Yeah, from Tesla to Tezos. This was like a mega hyped ICO in 2017. They raised like $250 million. It's like 46th in market cap now. A lot of NFT artists really like Tezos because it is eco-friendly blockchain compared to Ethereum, which is obviously bad for the environment. And I don't think this should be 46th, right? Whether that means that there's just overpriced junk above it and it's fairly valued, that's possible. But it ain't 46. So I like this. I really like the NFTs on there. We'll dig into that on an NFT show. But yeah, Tezos.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of noise about people that want to launch NFTs on there. I got some Tezos in my bag. I was excited about it. I even heard a rumor from our buddy Michael Lockey over at Crypto IQ that even Marvel might be doing some NFTs on Tezos. So that's a big get. But then I look up here and is it only on Binance Smart Chain? I wasn't aware of that.
No.
Oh.
No, it's its own thing. So like you can buy it in Coinbase. But it's not like a lot of these chains are Ethereum virtual machine compatible, meaning you can have MetaMask and you're just toggling between Avalanche and Polygon and Binance Smart Chain and Ethereum. Tezos, it's its own thing. You need your own wallet. It's like a totally different ecosystem. So there's a bit of a barrier to entry. But something like the Coinbase NFT marketplace, right? That can lower the barrier to entry. OpenSea's going to integrate Tezos at some point. So yeah.
All right. That makes sense to me then. Good pick. I like it. I'm going with Monero today. Monero, I think, is going to be a very important part of the monetary ecosystem going forward. Everybody's waking up to how important cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is to get around these autocratic dictators, but they're also going to wake up to the fact that it's easily traceable. That's why we need privacy coins, and they're going to become so important. So get some Monero, some Pirate Chain. I love all that stuff. All right. I just don't trust the powers that be. I don't know about you guys, but I don't trust the even keel of the world, the powers that be. I don't trust anyone to run my monetary system. So I think a lot of people are going to wake up to that along with us, and there's going to be just a huge demand coming from crypto. I think the market's going to rip. I just think the easy money is still there. So I think we're all in those good places. You just keep watching this show, and you'll know what to do as well. We'll keep bringing you some sharp advice, or at least some sharp-sounding advice. If you could please give us a like and a subscribe and a share and a comment and make a bunch of activity in our account that'll allow us to keep doing this. We live for your views. We need them. So, thank you for watching. We will be here next Tuesday, if there is a next Tuesday. But for now, it's lights out.
I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. I never sleep if I don't have. I never sleep. I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. Time to right the wrong. So your hands in the air if you like the song. If you're going over there, take it twice as long. Last time ain't talking about Tylenol. Oh, I bet you'd like to know. You can come around the way if you're trying to go. If you want to switch lanes for a pot of gold or a domino, out of control. The usual. Get mad cause I'm looking at your girl. Switch it up. I do it so much louder than everything you've heard. Everybody heard at the word that the world wasn't turning. Act like you're in a jury. Power of attorney where I would turn in. Can't a lie like Mississippi burning. Don't act like you're in a daze. I imagine should've looked the other way. Couldn't clear space and my mind was afraid of the time. Strobe light flickering the moonlight. I'm in the mood right now. How about tonight? My interview's tight now.